Hi, my name is Justin Murdoch.
And I'm CJ Franklin.
And this is our story. So, I didn't start going to Pathway until I moved here from Warsaw, Indiana. I'd never been to a youth group before. I didn't really go to churches often, but I knew I wanted to know God. So during my 9th grade year, I met this guy named Hayden Mullet who brought me in, and he just introduced me to the youth group, and I'd never gone, and that was just really cool being able to be a part of that community. During the same time, I actually met CJ, and CJ was one of the first friends that I really made when I was there.
So I'd say about the outset of our sophomore year, about halfway through September, we were waiting outside the pickup line at Carroll, waiting for our parents to come pick us up, and Justin asked me if I wanted to come to Impact with him. Of course, the period of time between when he asked me and when I was actually able to come was a little bit longer. Justin, if you want to tell them about that.
So I have an absolute terrible memory, and I'm just really bad at coming up with schedulings and all that stuff. So when I continue go to my youth leader for a lot of different questions, mostly the same question about what time we actually have youth groups. So I would get there late, sometimes early. It always depended. So when I came to actually asking CJ, that was even more complicated.
This just kind of shows it's not going to go perfectly when you ask people. Don't expect that perfect scenario to happen. Sometimes you have to have the bumps in the road. Sometimes you have to have the failures in order for it to work out eventually in the end. But my first time coming into Impact was definitely eye-opening. I had come from a family who went to the smaller traditional churches, so our average turnout for youth group would be 5, maybe 6 people. So the average small group at Impact. And just walking into Pathway that evening was a sensory overload. There was so much music, so much noise. It was awesome. I loved the feeling of just the sense of community and the amount of people there just expressing passion for the Lord and praising and worshiping Him.
No, it's not always been the easiest time. Both of us during our junior year were just very overwhelmed with our own things. I had show choir and I had a girlfriend, and both of those things really brought me down a bad path.
And I was an AP student, which I think enough said there, but I just was having a ton of studying I was having to do. I was always focused on school, and so during Impact I'd show up, but I would also be kind of mentally checked out during parts of it. I'd get the message, but then in small group I'd be half asleep, wouldn't contribute as much as I maybe should have.
During the summer we got really reconnected with God, and I think I can say for both of us that was just because we had a closer friendship, and we also just had a common ground of getting to know God, and because of that we've been able to spend more time. We've also grown in our faith and found people that we can just really get help from and seek guidance from. And that's why I guess we think that you should also try and find people to reconnect, because you have no idea what their story is and what they're gonna say, but you could really make an impact on their lives.